Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update on our urban worm bag that has the European nightcrawlers in it. So this system has been going for quite a while now. It's done a really great job, and it's been about, I think 31 days, or 31 days since our last update, and it's been longer than I expected. I was really hoping to get this within that 2 to 3 week time span, 14 to 21 days. But that's okay. We're going to update it now. And somebody mentioned in my last video for my trash can system that I really should probably, how much food am I going through? Maybe I should weigh it. So I did weigh the food this time, and it was just over 7 pounds. Hair over it, I should say, as you can see on the video here. So it was really close to 7 pounds of food. So we're adding a lot of food to these systems for it to go through. And that's not including the paper or anything else that's being added like water or anything like that. That's just food. So this food's going to take a little bit longer. I think we've got some corn cobs in there or some avocado shells. Those take longer to break down, but still, they're really churning through this food very quickly. So with that, let's take a look at the system and see how it's doing. All right, here we are with our urban worm bag. And if you remember right, I put this tape over here because I felt like there were some bugs. I already see a fruit fly going in and out over here. You can see on the tape, maybe. I don't know if you can or not. But there's some bugs on there. Didn't look like many really got stuck. I would expect more to get stuck if there's any issues. But I do have my shop vac here ready to go as we open it. So we're going to go ahead and open this and take a look and see what we get here coming out. I see a couple. I see a lot of mites. I do see some fruit flies here. Actually, I'm going to turn that on the shop vac. It wasn't as many as I thought. It looked like a lot at first, but I know that they also can congregate around the sides. Oh, there's a whole bunch on that trap there. Hold on a second. All right, if you remember, this trap had sort of run out of juice, and I took it out of here, and then I realized that with the fruit flies kind of came back really quickly. I was hoping that this would take care of them. It looks like they are landing on this trap. I also see some mites in there. I don't know if you can see those or not, but there's some mites on top. And I'm seeing a lot of mites in this system to begin with. Oops, let me put this over here where it can... So I see a lot of mites along the sides here. Red mites all over the exterior. There was some moisture on the lid, so it's a little bit moist in here, but not too bad. So with this though, let's start digging around and take a look and see how these worms are doing in here and how much food is left. As we said, we're going to be adding about 7 pounds of food, and we are starting to get up pretty high in this system, so we're going to have to start, we're going to do a harvest I think the next time. I keep saying that, but we really do need to do a harvest. I'm seeing more fruit flies kind of come out here as we go. But you can see on there, I think there's some fruit fly larvae on this. So we're definitely getting fruit flies in here. They're definitely laying eggs and getting larvae and pupating and all that stuff. So, there's not much I can do about it. I'm not going to stop feeding. I'm not going to cut back as I've done other times. And I really just want to keep these systems going because we're just going through so much food. Let's just flip this over a little bit, take a look in here. I mean, look at this material. Looks great. Tons of worms. Actually, there's a whole bunch of worms right over here. Look at this. Look at that. Just a whole bunch. In fact, let me zoom in a little bit here. Let's just zoom in. There we go. Look at that. You can see a whole bunch of worms. Actually, there's a cocoon. Cocoon right there in the center of that pile. So, and actually there's 2 cocoons. There's another one right here. So they're multiplying in here, which is a great sign, and They're active. Actually, there's a third cocoon right here. So 3 cocoons and that one little handful off to the side. That's a great sign for me. At least I feel it is. I'm normally not very good at finding cocoons, but maybe they're all along the sides. I just never noticed it. But this worm right here looks very swollen as well. So we'll see. We might have a lot of cocoons coming in this system, but these worms are doing a great job with this food. We got a corn cob that's left over. Those take a while to break down. But we've got some avocado shells. But you can just see they're working through this stuff. They're multiplying. They're doing a great job. They look healthy. So overall, that's impressive. I'm really shocked that I found cocoons. I normally don't find cocoons in these systems. But look at all these worms. I mean, look at how healthy that is. I mean, this system is doing well because you just shake it out and there's more. You shake it out a little bit more, and look at it, there's more. So they're doing a great job in here. They're really working at this food. These shells that were taking a while to break down. This is not surprising. They do those avocado shells. They take a long time. That's just the way that they are. And we got a seed right here, which actually we can bust apart. Look at that. Just bust this seed apart. Now they're going to be able to get in there, get to all the nutrient material in there. It's all over my gloves now. All right, let's check out the other side here. So one side looks fantastic. Worms are really breaking stuff down. This side, I'm seeing a lot of, I can't think of what they are, springtails over on this side, it looks like. Springtails are another composter that will show up on your systems. It's not a big deal. But again, this side looks pretty good too. It looks like most of the food is gone. We've still got a lot of paper, and it looks a little bit matted. But the worms are working on that paper now too. Got another avocado seed right here. This one's... Trying to get a grip on it so I can squeeze this one. I'm not going to be able to break this one though. This one's not quite as soft as the other one. There we go. Now I got it. So there we go. Got that one out there. Some coffee grounds. A little dry in the middle, but that's okay. They take a while to break down too. Again, most of the food underneath though gone, except for of course these corn cobs. They take a long time to break down. Let's just dig over here a little bit. Look at this. Lots of paper. They're taking their time on the paper. I think the food is there's a lot of food there for them, and they're going after that, and they're leaving the paper alone. But they are working on it a little bit. But I'm seeing a lot more paper than I expected when I dug down in there. But look at this. I mean, they're really healthy. They're all through the system. I mean, I normally think that's like, I underestimate you. Like normally, I'd have you order 1,000 worms or something like that, or a pound of worms, which is approximately 1,000 worms. Now these are European nightcrawlers, so it'd probably be even less. I bet that there are 10,000 worms in here, all throughout the system. I just think that they're all, all layers of the system. They're almost everywhere in here, and I think that there's a lot more than I'm realizing in this system. And this system is handling it really well. I mean, you can see right here we've got looks like some peels from an artichoke. But, they're breaking this stuff down very quickly. I mean, it has been a little bit longer than expected. But, corn on the cob right here, it breaks right apart. It's hollow inside. But you can see there's just worms in every single handful I've pulled up. And they look really good. And you can see I'm just squirming on the top here. So we're going to go ahead and bury those back down. Cover these back up a little bit. Just kind of move this cardboard around as we're going to do a large feeding as we are going to continue to feed. I'm not going to stop feeding these systems. I'm not going to do that even if we have a massive outbreak of fruit flies. We'll just put more traps in here. And as you can see, they were all congregated in this corner right by the traps. So the traps are working. So now, let's go ahead and grab our 7 pounds of food that we're going to be adding to this system. So we have our first one here, and actually I'm just going to hit this on the side real quick, just to kind of break it up a little bit. Oh, that didn't work very well. I was hoping it would, but it didn't. So, I think this is actually kind of a light feeding. This one is pretty full. Right here we've got some orange peels, broccoli stem, right there, big broccoli stem. Probably should have cut that up a little bit more. Tea bag that was attached to it, right here. Banana peels. This one has a lot of coffee grounds in it. More banana peels. fruit flies in here. Still coming out of the system. More banana peels, coffee grounds. These are my tea grounds. I think this was dragon tea, I think it was called, green dragon. Another big one here. This is actually one of the few teas that I have that really, I soaked them multiple times. It was really good after the first soaking was typically really bad. It was really bitter, and then you soaked them again. Now, I've thrown these in here before. We're going to try these again. These are paper straws. We're trying to finish those off. You know, we have a whole bunch of them. My wife's been using more straws lately, so we're going to try to finish it off. This feels like it's a solid block. I don't know if we're going to break this apart or not. This is coffee grounds, and this one had been sitting in my freezer for a while. Yeah, I can't get my thumb in there. All right, well, that's going to be a solid chunk. We're going to leave that in the center here. Hopefully that'll heat up and break apart. And now comes the second container, which is, this one again hasn't been sitting in the fridge or the freezer for a while. You can see that there's a big block of ice in the bottom. That's what happens when you kind of keep adding stuff to it over time. It kind of thaws a little bit, then refreezes when I take it out and put it back in. But again, we're just going to spread this stuff out. We got more coffee grounds, lots of banana, got some avocado shells. This one doesn't have the corn in it. I was debating on putting corn in here, but the corn cobs. But I thought, yeah, we'll skip that one this time. So there we go. We've got corn cobs still in here too. So you can see we've got avocado, another avocado seed. We've got this apple right here. No breaks in the skin. Hopefully they'll be able to work their way into that. Let's just see here. Again, this one's very, very solid here. Got some grapes, it looks like. Got some grapes right here. Banana peels, obviously. You always have banana peels. Go through lots of bananas in this house. And at some point, I should show you the recipe I use for my banana shake that I make. Not as frequently. I've been having salads more often lately, which is why I've seen a lot of lettuce. But I used to, when I work out, I typically have a protein shake made of banana, oat milk, beet powder, protein powder, and bananas. So I'll show you that maybe at some point. I should really make a video on what I do. I try to eat pretty healthy. Can't do it all the time, but I think this looks good. Spread it out quite a bit. This is getting pretty full. We really probably should start to harvest this, and we will, I think, next time. I think next time we're just going to go ahead and I'll bite the bullet and I'll harvest it. All right, now, next part to this, mask on. We're going to add our crushed crab and eggshell, and I refilled my container here since last time it was empty. We're going to go ahead and sprinkle a lot of this on here, make sure they get a lot of dust on there. And this stuff, remember, as I said, I have my mask on. You want to make sure you do that. All right, we got a lot on there. And I'll link a video up top on how to make this stuff. It's just crushed eggshell primarily now. I think most of the crab is, well, I've added more eggshells to the system, or the mix, so it's primarily eggshell now, probably. All right, now we're going to add our paper. I've got my big thing of paper that's been soaking. You can see some water still coming out of there. All right, come on. Come on. There we go. All right, it's stuck. There we go. I'm adding a lot of paper to this. I actually shoved an extra amount of paper into this container because I really wanted to add a lot. Still see that apple right there. But hopefully, between this, the traps, and all this other stuff, we'll see a reduction of fruit flies. It still wasn't really that bad. I mean, I've had a lot worse come out of my systems. And I do keep a light trap right nearby to catch those fruit flies that come out. I have no lights on in the basement really except for those. So a lot of them get thrown up into that light and get probably exploded really because it zaps their body. But highly recommend having, if you keep this in your house, traps for fruit flies, because you will get them at some point. So there we go. That's our update for this system. It looks like it's doing pretty well. And now we just need to add in the one last piece, which is our fruit fly trap. We'll put that in that corner over here. I'm kind of pressing it down in a little bit to make sure that it doesn't fall over. I kind of try to keep it laying against the side. Oops, you can't see that. There we go. I've got it kind of laying against this side over here, pushed into the side, so that way it doesn't have any issues. And I think that's it. So we're going to go ahead and close this up. If you have any questions or comments or thoughts on this system, let me know. And I'm going to start weighing the food so that way you guys can see how much it weighs. Because I was really surprised to see I was adding 7 pounds of food. That's a lot of food for this system. So we're going to go ahead and close this back up. A couple of fruit flies on the back side there. And we're not going to put the tape back over that. I think we'll just leave it like that. I think it was fine. Or maybe we'll move it a little bit this way. So there we go. That's our update. We're going to go ahead and call that a sign off here. And we'll see how this comes. Hopefully we'll check in a little bit sooner than the 31 days or whatever it was. So, you know, I'd like to get it, as I said, between 14 and 21. I'd like to see them be able to go through 7 to 10 pounds of food every 2 to 3 weeks. So with that, thank you for watching. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them down below and let me know what you think.